Gassner, NBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. On Monday morning, it is June 24th. My name's Joe Callahan. Across the table from me, it would be the inevitable. Is that a word?
The inevitable?
Yes.
Okay.
The amiable. Dave Richards is here. Hi, Dave.
Yeah, right. Or the effervescent, or
Yes.
the affable.
And I wasn't sure if Melissa Murray was going to show up. Something to do with politicians and dates and things like that. She has to declare today. Or she is going to declare
Well, she's going to
today.
pull out papers today.
Yes.
Or actually, no. I think she did that over the weekend.
Okay.
She made a public pronouncement and a press release.
All right.
Because I saw that come along. And as long as everybody's making nice, we will
far.
wait. We will wait to the point where everyone is a certified candidate.
Oh, okay.
If people were not making nice, and there was a lot of possibility that some nefarious deeds would be perpetrated by one politician or another, then I would invoke an earlier date. But I don't see any cause to do that right now, so I can be nice, and as long as everyone's behaving themselves and being fine ladies and gentlemen, then we'll just wait until about the 12th of July
Okay.
when they'll be certified. But they have to make their pronouncement, then they got to go get papers, then they got to declare pull out the papers and get the signatures, bring the signatures back, get the signatures checked out, and then once the signatures are checked out, then they certify.
Alrighty then. Well, okay, that's the way things work. One of the other things
Take a couple of weeks.
I saw over the weekend. Remember, way back when we had the special runoff, candidate Chris Mellon was running for city council. He also made a pronouncement over the weekend.
He did.
That he'll be running for city council once again. So
Absolutely.
he'll be taking out papers today as well. Alrighty, last Friday night, a bit of a rain delay. How did it go? Did you start the opening act and then get through
Yeah,
them?
they actually started about 5 minutes before we went on the air.
Okay.
Because, well, we've got the color weather radar on in the truck, and everyone comes by the truck to see what's going on, and they look and they say, first of all, they come by the truck to see if the TV that's attached to the outside of the truck has the radar on it, and what does it look like, and if there's no TV attached to the truck, that means Dave realizes it's going to rain imminently, so I have taken the TV down off the side of the truck because I don't want it to be wet. And then so they come around, they check, and like that. So they said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll start about 5 minutes early, and you'll catch up with us later on.
All right.
And so we did, and we went about till 16 minutes after 6, when the sky opened up. And just like a ball game, it's time to put out the tarp over the stage.
Yep.
And everybody hunker down. Now, I got to tell you, these people are my friends, and of course I like them and everything, and I'm very pleased to be on the committee and all the rest of that. But let me tell you how impressed I am with the Levitt Woonsocket AMP committee. They already had, knowing that there was a chance that there could be a rain delay, they already had activities for youngsters, activities for adults, refreshments, everything all set up at Mill Race at 40 South Main Street. And so you could go off to your car, when the rain started, or they invited everyone to go up to Mill Race. And they had food and entertainment, and every single one of them stayed.
Great.
And 2 hours and 25 minutes later, when the rain was over and we put Shamar Allen out on the stage with the Underdogs, they were all in the park.
Waiting for him. Okay.
They were
great.
all in the park. We had like 50 people there.
Great.
Now, that's not as big as we had before, but considering that it really poured rain, that ain't half bad after that long a rain delay. You know what happens even at the ballpark.
Oh, it's at least after the top comes off. It's
Some
at least a
people
half
just
hour.
go home.
Oh well, yeah.
Sometimes
That's true.
people just go home. Sure.
All right, Melissa Murray is on her way. She woke up to find a moving truck blocking her driveway.
Really?
So now she had to pick up the truck and move it. That
She
takes
also
that
she
takes time.
also woke up to find out that her clock had reset.
Quite possibly.
Right.
All right. The other things.
See,
speaking
that
of,
that clock is on the battery backup.
Yeah.
So
speaking of,
you didn't see that.
Speaking
But the
of
one over
rain
your
delays.
desk wasn't on battery backup, Joe.
I won't look at it then. Speaking of rain delays, three in a row in Worcester.
Yeah.
Thursday night,
Yep.
41-minute rain delay
Okay.
in the 8th inning.
hmm
Friday, we get the same rains as you got down here in Woonsocket.
Yeah.
So that the 6:45 game started at 8:30,
I
1 hour and
see.
45 minutes.
Well, that's about right. That's about what we had.
Yep. And then on Saturday, 1 hour and 56-minute rain delay.
Do you have an afternoon show?
The game was supposed to start at 4,
Yeah.
and instead started at 4:05 to be exact. And
Yeah.
instead started at 6.
Yeah. And that's the time when we had the issues.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Sunday's game went off on time, but that was a 3.5-hour game.
Whoa.
like,
Why? Are they making up for the time they didn't play before?
A lot of runs scored in the later innings.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I see.
It's funny when there's a rain delay in the baseball games and the games are starting late, the players tend to swing at the first pitch.
They want to get out of
We
here.
want to get out of here. That's right. So they swing earlier and earlier. So okay. So that was the so the only saving grace is I get paid by the hour, Dave, and I was getting paid.
I
to
always
sit there.
figured it this way: if you don't want to swing at the first pitch, then fine, don't throw a first pitch.
Well, it's gonna be
I
over
mean,
the
if they're not
plate.
going to swing at it, why would you pitch it? Why would you throw it?
It's got to be over the plate.
Just the heck with them. If they don't want
That
to
makes
swing at the first
no-
pitch, I'm not going to throw the ball.
Well, then you get a pitch clock violation, and that's ball one.
There you go.
All right. So this was amusing to me because it didn't affect me at all,
Oh,
but probably not amusing to others.
okay.
On Friday, it was the big Boston Celtics parade celebration in
Yep.
the city,
Ducky boats.
and they expected 1 million people
Well, they had tens of thousands.
to come into the city, and they said, "Please don't drive.
Okay.
We just don't have enough parking in this city. Please take the T." And a lot of people adhered to that. Now, in my town, there is a T station, just like in Franklin, okay? And I saw a picture of the people waiting to board the T to go to the celebration,
Right.
because you could tell they're all wearing green.
Hmm.
This is not your usual business attire.
Right.
They're all wearing green to go to celebrate. They wanted to get on the it was actually the 801 train that pulls into Mansfield
Right.
to get you into South Station in plenty of time for the parade that started at 11.
Right.
The word went out. The 801 train, before it even got to Mansfield, in South Attleboro, we were at 100% full, and we're not stopping.
Right. Get
in
right on
Mansfield,
going. That's
or
what they
Sh-
do with
or-
jitney buses
or
too.
Sharon, or Canton, or 128, or I'm trying to remember all the stops they made,
Right.
or Andrew, or JFK. That's it. We're full all the way to South Station. And they said, "Well, what about when's the next train coming?" 8:42. Melissa Murray's joined us. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
The 8:42 train is going to stop in Mansfield. Also, 100% full. And then it said at the bottom, "Seek alternate transportation." And people were posting, "You are the alternate transportation."
That's right.
So a few people quickly, because I read about it, called for an Uber.
Oh,
and
really?
And actually got one.
No kidding.
I was shocked.
Well,
Okay,
That'll work
so-
about 20 times.
That's about it. And that got them in. Other people said, "Now we also have a, it's called the Big Apple bus.
Oh, yeah.
Picks up people
I've
at the
heard of
train station, but only takes them to Logan Airport." And they said, "Well, you could do that. You don't have to get on an airplane, but you're at Logan Airport. You're nowhere near where the parade was, but you're in the city."
And you could get a train from Logan Airport into the city.
Yeah, I
Can
guess
you?
you could take. There's
Yeah.
the Silver Line
Mm-hmm.
is at Logan Airport, so that was another option as well. Well, people were not amused that the train did not stop.
All those
So-
people.
Yes,
So they ran with the
Bye.
same complement
Oh my
of
gosh.
trains,
that's right. They didn't
the
add
same
any.
complement of
Yes.
seats,
Yes.
and said, everybody take the T. And the T said, I don't know what all these people are doing here.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know.
Nobody slipped us a memo to put on 3 more trains.
It wasn't like it was a Taylor Swift concert. And maybe
Right.
maybe they couldn't. Maybe they didn't have enough engineers or conductors. I don't know what their staffing issue is.
Right.
And maybe it's too short a notice, 4 days, but we don't have enough. We don't have enough people, and
Right.
so we can't do it. And maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know, but people were not happy with the tea. It sounds like poor planning. Of course, you don't know all the facts, but that was the issue. And this is why I don't go into these things. And now the smarter people, the real smarter people, and I didn't think of this, actually got a hotel room in Boston on Sunday night.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, oh, now there's someone thinking. Of course, that's a lot of money, of course, but at least $200,
At least.
and probably more. And so you're already in the city, waking up and then take the tea. Tea coming home was probably nice and easy, but that's some people did that too. It wasn't. I didn't see it as a big. Something I have to do. I got to get in to see the parade.
No bucket list
No,
thing, huh?
no, not really. And not just the Celtics. That's for the Bruins and the Patriots, all the Red Sox. I've never been to a celebratory parade.
Well, it's an awful lot to go through to see them for a few
I
seconds,
look
and
at
there
the
they
crowd
go.
that's there.
Bye.
Yeah, that's right. You get them for maybe a minute or two because
Right.
the thing's rolling, of course, so it keeps moving. So I don't know anyone that went. Melissa, Dave,
Nope.
know anyone that went?
Nope.
I know my daughter knew people that went to the concert at Fenway Park Friday night. Yeah, Friday night because there was a concert there Friday night. Hootie was there. Hootie and the Blowfish were there Saturday night, but they were there. They went on Friday
I love
night.
Hootie.
Darius Rucker.
Yes, but
He
they
loves it when people call him Hootie.
I'm sure he does. But he went on. There was a show on Saturday night. A big pop star, Talana. Anyway, but sold out. But they got hit with rain, and so much so it was we have to evacuate the field. Lightning strikes
Oh, yeah.
everybody off the
Yeah.
field into
Yeah.
the concourse underneath. It was 95 degrees.
Oh,
And my daughter's friends are telling her people are passing out because
Yeah.
there's very little
From the
air
heat,
moving
yep,
around. It's
yep.
like, wow. And because Boston, like Great Woods, has a curfew on how long you can play, she only played for an hour instead of her usual 2. But then she said, "I'll make it up to you." How? Well, she's going to come back. Oh, we get to spend another $300
buy more tickets.
to see you?
Yeah.
How are you? How is that making it up to us? I don't know. So
Boston problems.
it's a chance you take, I guess, on
Yeah.
summer outdoor
concert. Yeah. Yeah.
shows that you pay money to go see.
Yep.
Not like the Levitt one because they're free.
Yep.
And if it rains, they just wait, and then they play anyway. So
That's
there
why I
you
love
go.
those $25. They don't call it Great Woods anymore. Whatever it's called now.
Xfinity Center.
I know. Xfinity Center. Yeah. You get the $25. They're not lawn seats, but they're not covered. So sometimes you do get sprinkles.
You know, there are still lawn seats there. Not
But they're
very
like-
much. There are real seats.
Yeah.
And then there's a little grass.
Yeah.
And so
it's
you
tiny.
you can still sit out on the grass.
But you may as well sit on the uncovered seat,
You might as well. Yeah.
and you get sprinkled on.
Yeah.
But then it's only $25, so it's not. You're not like, oh my gosh, I spent $150 to come
Yeah.
here. Right? It's not bad. I mean, you're not close.
No. But you get to watch it on the big screen.
Right in front of you. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a college student because you couldn't afford the good seats way back.
Yeah,
And I actually brought binoculars. That's how far away you were. And if you watch the drummer hit the drums, you're so far away. It was a second later you actually heard the beat. That's how far away you were. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, isn't that interesting? All right, more Coffee and coming up. We'll get to other things that are going on. Your comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. More of the Coffee and program is coming your way. We ask you to please stick around. At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center. The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. It is Coffee In on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and Melissa Murray has joined us as well. And from what I can tell, looking at my updated newscast, they are still looking for that swimmer off of Newport. They
Really?
Yep. They were looking last night for a 20-year-old. They don't say if it's a man or a woman. Oh, it is a man. 20-year-old man that went off the north end of Brenton Point shoreline. They had helicopters looking, Coast Guard helicopters, but that had to be called off because of darkness last night. They started again at sunrise. The Coast Guard is continuing the search for him by boat as well, and they have not found this
It was
person
so
yet.
windy. It was so windy
Yep.
last night.
So, is that a beach? I don't
Brenton
know.
Point?
Brenton Point. Is that,
No, it's like a lookout point, right? That's where isn't that where the
the cliff walk?
the lighthouse is? No.
Yeah,
I
Yeah, the
don't- I don't
lighthouse
Point
is there.
Lighthouse,
I
if
don't
I-
know.
as
Yeah.
I recall it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yesterday was a day that had our first tornado watch for the local
Yes.
area
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for several hours, and then it breezed on through. It was pretty breezy for a little bit, but nothing like a tornado, so we were okay. Just got drenched. But when it's coming across and you see it on the radar, and it's just this little itty bitty thing, you say to yourself, how bad could that be? But tornado watch is a tornado watch.
Didn't turn into a warning.
No.
Which is good. So okay, we'll just keep an eye on it right now. So, yep, we saw that saw it up in Worcester too. So it was a big area that had the tornado watch, not warning. Okay, so you hear about this every now and then, but the Newport to Bermuda race had a ship where the crew had to abandon ship. It was taking on water at 3 a.m. 48 hours after they began the race. Luckily, there was another racing ship that was close enough by, and the crew was taken aboard that racing ship. And the crew, let's say, I'm trying to get my boats, names of the boats. The boat that picked them up, they'll continue the race with its own crew from another boat. They're expected to make it to Bermuda by Tuesday afternoon. No word on what the original crew did, and no reason on why the boat started taking on water.
Well, there's all kinds of different reasons why boats take on water.
But racing boats,
Yeah.
they have their own reasons?
Sure.
Like what?
Well, they have plugs. Could have been struck by a large fish or whatever like that, and knocked it loose. It could have developed some sort of a mechanical issue where a seal on a bearing, because they are sailboats, but they also have alternate propulsion. So I mean, there's all kinds of So I can't even get into a list of all the things that can go wrong where a boat would take one. Maybe a heel too much, and they bring in some from the port side or something. There's just so many ways to take on water, and that's why not everybody sleeps at the same time.
Well,
So
and why
you
do
see
these things always
going on?
Why do
Like,
these
for
things
instance,
always
if
happen at 3 a.m.?
If I had been
Right.
sleeping like I should have been at 4 o'clock this morning, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have seen the power outage start.
No, that's right. And you saw it live and in action, huh, Dave?
Right, and I didn't believe it. Because I was actually I had been up for another reason, and I was shutting off lights to go back and snooze for another few minutes, and the lights went off before I touched them. I said, "No, that's not something you see every day." So anyway, yeah.
Did you have to change your clocks, Melissa? Were they blinking?
No, I don't have any of those.
Not
I don't
even-
have-
I don't have
No.
any one of those.
I don't have any of those. I just have
Alright.
my phone.
Not even like a microwave or something like that?
I mean, yes, but it's unplugged. But that's a whole
Oh,
nother
all
story.
right.
That's
It
a whole
always
nother
flashes.
story.
See,
It
you
always
don't-
flashes.
No, it's not plugged in.
Oh, microwave's not plugged in. It must make it difficult to read the time when the popcorn is done.
Well, you just plug it in then. That was always the old joke when VCRs came out. No one could figure out how to set the
12.
time.
Yeah.
Nobody could program it. Like, why were VCRs so difficult to program?
Because it was the last thing that they
I
were.
don't know.
The last thing that they were designing, really. They want to be able to turn it on and have it record at 3 in the morning when something was on. Oh, okay,
Let's
we'll
make
put a
it
little
difficult.
timer chip in there. Yeah, they didn't put a whole lot into it.
It made it easier just to get up at 3 and hit record.
Sure.
Go
So
back
you
to
have
sleep.
pointy-headed guys who are, really good with computer chips, saying, "Oh yeah, well all you gotta do is this, and this," and then scroll through that,
press
and
these three buttons at the same
and then
time.
you're done. It's great, And now look what we did for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. What's it cost? $1.47. Then okay, great.
All right, $50 more. then.
Put it right on the motherboard, and you're all set to go. And then people will look at it and say, "But I don't think like a pointy-headed geek.
All right.
Doesn't work well for me."
Have you ever? All right, I say this a lot, but have you ever seen the movie City Slickers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Billy Crystal.
Yes.
A couple of clips of
All
it.
right, there's the whole scene where they're on the horses, herding the cows, but they're talking about programming your VCR because one of them just doesn't get it. And it's a very funny scene. The whole point is that you can watch a show and record another show at the same time, and he just doesn't get it. It's really, really funny.
Yeah.
That is a funny scene. Okay, just thought I'd bring it up.
I'm glad you
can,
did.
You can record and watch something else at the same time. That's
If you can figure it out.
Speaking of the Celtics parade, multiple private vehicles owned by Boston firefighters were vandalized during the Boston Celtics championship parade on Friday.
Why?
Wow. Well, fans tend to get a little rowdy during these things, so fans climbed onto the 4 vehicles outside the fire station on Boylston Street, and the union representing the firefighters said the damage is severe.
Oh.
So once you climb on top, you start jumping up and down.
They want to
Boston-
get a better look, maybe.
Why would you do such a thing?
You're 10 feet deep. You're 10 people deep
Well,
trying to see the parade. So
you
if
see-
you're up higher, you can see the boats a little better.
I would go, and I would
Stand
behave
on somebody's
myself and everything.
car that you don't even know.
Well, that's the
Well,
point.
listen,
You're not
you've
going to
got
stand on
some-
your own.
You got some people with certain
I
personalities.
would, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You got people with certain personalities. The officials come out and say, "Okay, absolutely no drinking," and that gives them the idea. Well, you're going to tell
we
me
can
what to
drink.
do.
That's right. Well, they wouldn't
And
drink
since I'm
anyway.
not supposed to be drinking, why would I moderate?
Boston police, by the way, are asking for the public's help in identifying the people who are responsible. Don't know if there are any cameras on them or not, but quite possibly. And they climb the street poles and the sign poles, and sit on the sign poles just to try to get anything to get a better vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Jason Tatum will look at me and point.
Oh boy!
And he pointed at me. Ooh.
You can get a shot with your phone, and then you can post it on
We're
social
having
media.
sport with it,
Yeah.
folks. This isn't serious discussion.
Well, that's what people do at these
Yeah.
at these
Yeah.
parades. Climb the trees. There's already people up in the buildings that have got the viewpoint. So, but if you don't have
Well,
that,
we
so,
saw
you
that
know,
even back in the more sensible 1940s, at the conclusion of hostilities in World War II,
yeah.
when they had parades and things like that, you always had some, hale and hearty juvenile acting person who climbed up a phone pole or a street sign or something like that to get a lofty perch.
And say, look at me.
Well, I don't know if it's that, but I can look at you now because I'm much higher.
Yeah.
I remember my brother. So my brother lived in Boston for many years when he went to college, and I remember when the Red Sox ended their long losing streak. Right,
It was
it was
2004.
2004. Okay.
20 years ago.
Yep. And my brother said, "Oh my gosh, everyone's gonna come to Boston, and if they win." It was during the game, right? If they win, people are going to go crazy and set cars on fire. And then if they lose, people are going to go crazy and set cars on fire.
That's a pretty accurate assessment, really.
Yeah, that's
Those who wish to
that's,
misbehave will take almost any excuse.
right.
I don't remember cars being set on fire, but I
think-
remember
think-
damage.
Yeah, there was definitely
Happening.
celebratory damage, which is kind of crazy, but
Yeah, that makes no sense.
it makes no sense. But win or lose, it was going to happen.
And he was right.
People are, and it did happen.
And was he part of this?
Was he living in Boston at the time? No, I don't think so. I think he had already moved out of Boston. Yeah. So I think he was already in California at the time.
All right. Well,
But he knew.
but we're all done now with the celebratory parades and things like that.
Yep,
So that's
yep.
done and over with.
Yep.
And now we move on. We also the only thing we have to worry about now is the Red Sox because the Patriots haven't started yet. So, and the Red Sox are doing well. They had another very good weekend, and we're almost halfway through the season. How about that? Season goes by fast. Yeah. Well, All-Star break is about 2 weeks away.
It goes by fast if you're not in the rain.
Unofficial halfway through the season. All right. The
Red Sox have what? Are they 6 over 500 now?
6 over. Yeah, because they won yesterday.
They've woken up, and which of course is not the sort of thing that Red Sox fans really want to see in June.
No, you got to peak a little later.
They'd rather have them waking up in September, and taking over things in September, so that when the snapshot at the end of the season comes along, they're on the upswing.
Well, they got to make it to the. I don't know. Can't make it to first place, I don't think. But there's always a wild card. So.
Well, I know, but it also depends on other people not doing so well to make it to first place. But they're very close to a wild card berth right now.
Yeah, I forget.
Forget based on the
how many games
standings
out
as they are today, and
Mhm.
it's so premature to really consider it, except that that's what sports fans do. Sports fans many times are premature.
So down in the minor leagues, Melissa, they're taking away the robot umpires. Did you know we had robot umpires?
I did not know that.
We had robots calling
weird.
balls and strikes
Okay.
because they were trying to make it as accurate as possible.
Okay.
And so
Efficient, whatever.
the home plate umpire had an earpiece,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was being told ball, strike, depending on where the ball landed. Of course, he's also there to see, well, maybe the guy swings at it and misses. Okay, then it's a strike. Well, when they did a survey, players, coaches, umpires, executives, what do you think? And most of them came out, we really don't like the robots. We'd much rather have the person behind home plate making the calls and strikes. But we like the idea of saying, no, I disagree with that call. I want to challenge what you just said.
Yep.
So that's what they're going with the second half of the season.
Yep.
Now you don't have unlimited challenges. You'd be calling it every single ball game, every single ball that
Right,
came
I
in.
didn't like that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It wasn't in my favor.
So for the Worcester teams, the teams that play Worcester, they're only going to be allowed 2 challenges per game. Now, if you challenge and you're right, you keep both your challenges. Challenge and you lose, okay, you lose one, you're only down to 1. And if you lose the next one, okay, you're just done, and you can't challenge anymore.
So
Because
they couldn't challenge the robot
you can't challenge the robot.
because clearly the
The
robot
robot's
can
right.
never be wrong.
Yeah. Well, how do you argue with the robot?
Well,
Right.
humans make robots, so therefore.
Well, there was no arguing with the robot
Okay.
because the umpire would say, "I didn't make this call."
Yeah, right.
So
right,
who do we
right.
argue with? So, and not that you could argue with the umpire, but you can say, "No, you saw that wrong," and then they show it up on the screen, which is great at the ball game, so the fans know whether or not the umpire gets it right or not. And what's good about it, Dave, is that it happens quickly.
Yeah.
Within 10 seconds,
Right.
the umpire will stand up. He's got a little microphone.
Right.
The call of the strike of the
Looks
ball
like a Secret Service guy.
has been challenged.
Was that? All right.
Well, not quite like that. It's on their belt, but they'll stand up and say the call of ball strike has been challenged, and that's all they say.
Right.
And then it comes up on the
Well,
screen.
they got 2 or 3 people in every dugout deciding whether or not to challenge
no,
on almost every play, don't they?
no. Only in the minor leagues, and it may change when it will get to Major League Baseball eventually.
They
In the
put
minor
cameras
leagues-
on them. There's one guy looking
No.
at the replay. There's the head coach waiting
Now,
for.
so you're looking at Major League Baseball. This is minor league baseball, and
Oh,
their
sorry.
challenges. And the only people that can challenge are the batter on a strike, or the catcher and the pitcher. If it was called a ball and they think it's a strike, so only they can challenge.
Really?
and within-
managers can't challenge.
Maybe they can yell out, but they can't really see.
Right,
Oh, I
because
see.
they
the
don't
strike
have the line
zone.
of sight. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
But they could go out and kick sand on the umpire's head. What do they do? Kick sand on the computer's head?
It's tough. The computer's in the press box, so
right.
it's a good kick.
Yeah.
But it happens quickly.
You get thrown out of the game.
It quickly comes up on the screen. You see a graphic baseball come in. You see where the strike zone is, and then it actually tells you no strike, and then the ump will say, "Ball, the call was overturned or it stands," and we move on, and it happens very quickly.
Yeah.
So that
I think that's
that
going a
part's
little.
good.
I think that's going a little too far. A couple of times during yesterday's game, it was on the TV, so I saw a little bit of it. I going back and forth in the room, and I noticed two clear times where the graphic on the TV screen clearly showed a ball, completely way high out of the box, and the umpire called it a strike. Once on each team, I saw it.
It happens. So, but that's going to move on to. It's going to be so. It's all challenge all the time now, going forward. I haven't seen a good umpire manager discussion fight in a good 4 or 5
Discussion.
years, and they don't kick dirt anymore, Dave.
They don't.
No, it's distressing. So,
Distressing.
no one tries to pick up the base and throw it. No one throws bats anymore. It's all very civil.
Oh my gosh!
It's all very civil now.
Don't
So,
throw bats. That's
they
bad
used to
news.
throw them on
Bad news.
to throw them out onto the field. All right, break time here once again on Coffee and time for a look at the forecast, and that's being brought to you by KFC. Today will be mostly sunny, high near 82. West wind 8 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low temperature around 61. Northwest wind around 9 miles per hour. Tuesday's weather sunny and a high near 88. Tuesday night mostly clear, low around 68. Wednesday mostly sunny to start, increasing clouds Wednesday afternoon with a slight chance of showers, possibly a thunderstorm late Wednesday afternoon after 4 p.m. High temperature will be near 90. Thursday mostly sunny, high near 83. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies and 80 degrees. Get a taste of KFC's $10 Tuesday. Pick up an 8-piece drumstick and thigh bucket for just $10. Only at KFC, it's finger licking good. Prices and participation vary. Tax, tip, and fees are extra.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 465956.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
Why, Mortimer! Bill! Is that you under that blindfold? Bill, with this thing on, I can't see who I am. No, I imagine not. Can't you see anything at all under that blindfold? On a clear day, I can see the blindfold. You can? Yeah.
When Radio Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
It is Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards.
Hi.
So, want to say hi?
Hello.
All right, there we go. All right, ready for controversy?
Oh boy. Sure. Bring it.
All right. Today marks 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus
Yes.
Wade,
Yep.
which unraveled the constitutional right to an abortion. So in an interview with ABC's This Week, which was that's on Sundays, U.S. Senator from Massachusetts Elizabeth Warren warned about the impact a second Trump presidency would have on reproductive rights. She claimed GOP lawmakers will try to restrict access to abortion, contraception and in vitro fertilization in every single state.
They will.
Warren added Democrats will try and add protections to all three if they win both chambers of Congress and the White House in November.
I don't believe that either.
Okay. Okay. You don't believe both sides?
No, they had the opportunity to do it, and they didn't do it
Yeah.
when they had the opportunity. So why are they going to do it now?
I don't know. See, the joke in our house is because we went through in vitro fertilization and it actually worked. Took us a little while
Yeah.
to get it to work, and it worked for us. But the joke in the house is, we always told our daughter that, boy, you really look like the doctor from the in vitro place. You don't look like any of us.
But wasn't there like a doctor that did that though? Like,
Yes, there was.
yeah, so
That
that's
was-
really
yes.
creepy and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I said.
And there were like lots of children.
If you
from
don't,
this.
that's right. But
Yeah,
we always
ugh,
said if
yuckies.
you don't get over 5'5", we're gonna have a real problem. Well, my daughter's over 5'5", so we're okay
Already
with that.
taller than me,
We
so
said,
you're
"Well,
good.
You really look like that doctor.
I don't get the whole limiting the IVF.
I don't get that
really
either.
Don't
That's a whole industry within itself, by the way.
But what is the
why
ethical?
limit it?
Yeah, right. You're like, these couples want children. You know, they
Yes.
like. They want a child to share their life. They want to provide a loving home for a child. Like they
And
want to
I'm
have their
of
own
them-
kid.
and
Why
I-
is that a bad thing?
It's not. Well, it's not a bad thing. But I think it might come down to money.
No, I think
IVF is expensive,
it is. And
and
it's
trying
not,
to get health insurance to cover it is also an issue.
I think the issue also is a little bit with personhood and saying that, okay, these fertilized eggs are people and we can't destroy them. I think there's an issue there too.
Maybe okay.
Not with me, but like, you know, with some Republicans, and that's unethical, and it's and it's a personal decision. If someone wants to do that, they can do it, and if they want to, you know, pay for it, it's not cheap. Not a medical decision I want to make for somebody else.
And I will go to my grave believing this, that when we went through it, my wife and I, we went through her health insurance through her employer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were the first person to actually access this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the company saw how much it was going to cost them from the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough,
Yeah.
like on the next cycle, the next re-up, that benefit was gone.
Yeah.
And we squeaked in just before they took it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will always believe it was because we decided to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they went, yikes.
Right.
How much do you want? We're not
Yeah,
offering this
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah, that too,
And then they
that
looked
too,
at,
'cause
well, how
there's
many people took advantage of this? One? Okay, we don't need to offer this anymore.
Right. And then like not like a lot of people are taking advantage of it. It's a
Well, right.
process. You have injections and all of these medications, and it's like
That was the fun part.
it's I mean, it's not something that like, you know, a lot of people are gonna choose, but
Yeah.
if they want to,
That's
don't
what I had
know.
to do. I had to give my wife injections.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. I have a friend who
I said, I
got,
have to do it? I'm like,
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I have a friend who had a child through IVF, and you know, her telling me about all the things that they had to do, and
And it doesn't always work.
it doesn't always work. Yep. In her case, it did,
Yeah.
which is great. But yeah,
With us, they said it worked actually too much. They said, we've got 8 fertilized eggs.
mm-hmm.
They said, how many do you want us to implant? And we're like, all of them. You know, because how can I pick that one?
Right,
You know,
right.
I don't know which one to pick. They said, and they actually said out of the 8, they said 2 of them we already know aren't going to make it. Well, put them in anyway then. And they did. They put in all 8. They said, well, you might have sextuplets. I
Right.
said, but the odds are really, really low. I said,
Right,
all
right,
right.
right.
And one hooked on.
Yep.
So, what if we picked the wrong one? I mean,
Right.
I don't,
And
how do
then
you-
had to
I
go
don't know
through
how
it
do you make
all
that
over
Better to let
again.
nature make the choice.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
actually, we were at our end. This was our last cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and if we had to do it again, we would have had to have paid for everything.
Yeah.
So my wife and I decided this is it.
Yep,
This
this is
this
it.
is our actual.
Right.
absolute last chance because we couldn't afford.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
lucky
it's-
that you got insurance to
very-
pay for it. But
yes.
insurance companies don't like paying for anything.
But it's
so
it's tens of thousands of dollars.
yeah,
and then,
yeah,
and
it
that's-
is.
So it is tough. All
Health,
right.
health insurance companies hate paying for health care.
Yeah, what do you mean you're going to do this? No, we didn't think we only offered it because we thought no one was going to take
Right,
it.
exactly.
All right. In the There's Always Hope department, a 71-year-old woman in Texas is making history. Marissa Tejo is now the oldest contestant to compete in the Miss Texas USA pageant.
Good for her.
71 years old. The Miss Universe organization recently changed its rules and removed age limits. I didn't know they had age limits for contestants over 18 and allowed women who are married or divorced to participate. Tejo says she's excited to participate and hopes it will inspire women to believe there is beauty at any age.
So you couldn't participate if you were married or
Well,
divorced?
it was the Miss Universe organization, so we
Right.
only
Okay.
wanted single women.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's natural.
All right.
So they removed, but they removed that too. I don't know why
So now
divorced
anybody
women
could- yeah,
so
right.
basically
I
now
know,
it's
right.
everybody. Even there is a Mrs. USA or a Mrs. Universe
Is
pageant
it?
too. There used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know about anymore, but so if you're married and divorced, you can still participate. And we got rid of the. I wish they don't put it in there. I wonder what the age limit was. Okay, you got to be 18. We go up to what?
Oh, it had to be.
35,
I was thinking the same thing, but it probably was younger.
30, 25. But now there's none. So okay,
Once you're 30, you're too old.
will you hurry up and die? you're really in
You're
the
way
way.
too old to participate in this. It's ridiculous. But good for her. That's great.
Hey, if you want-
now I want to see what she looks
If
like.
she wants to do it, hey,
Yeah.
good for her.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
Now, the bald eagle has been part of the Great Seal of the United States since 1782, but there was never a push to name it America's national bird. So I always thought it was.
I always thought it was too.
Several Minnesota lawmakers are trying to change that with the introduction of a bipartisan bill to give the bald eagle that title. Democratic Senators Amy Klobuchar, didn't she run for president?
Mm-hmm. She did.
And Tina Smith are working with Wyoming Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis to push the bill through the Senate. A companion bill has also been introduced in the House of Representatives and is being supported by all 8 Minnesota representatives.
Okay. Should
So,
be easy, right?
I'm all for this.
Yeah.
There's got to be
it's
someone
not
out
necessary.
there.
But there's, yeah, there,
There has to be someone out there that says, "No, the pigeon it should be the national bird."
The pigeon.
the pigeon.
I had to quickly come up with a bird.
Is that because the birds vote? Because there's more pigeons than anything else out there.
Yeah.
Although
don't-
maybe
I
the
don't-
barn swallow could give them a run for their money.
I don't think pigeons vote, but
Yeah.
hey,
You would think this
never
would be a
know.
non-contentious bill, but
You would think
someone
so.
will find something contentious about
Yeah,
it.
so-
I'm sure.
No, my flying seagulls off the
Right,
bay.
yeah. Yeah.
I love them. So
I
let's-
know,
let's
but
get
the
it-
folks in
let's get a vote for
Ohio
them.
don't get it from seagulls.
we need a. I know that's why it'll be someone along either coast.
Right.
They'll throw in a seagull because
Why not?
because it's there.
Pelican.
That's or a pelican down in Florida. That's right. So all right.
More like Louisiana.
Is that where the pelicans are?
Yeah, there's a lot of them in Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they must like the fishing there a little better. Huh?
There you go.
All right.
Out
Well,
on the bayou.
Yeah, we'll take another break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. We ask you to please stick around. Comments and questions at 766-1240.
Hey, Red.
Who? Me?
Your face is beet red and you look like you're gonna pass out.
Well, I'm a little dizzy, but working outside in this heat, what are you gonna do?
You're in danger of heat exhaustion, my friend. And if you want to finish up this job today and get paid, you need to take a break in the shade and drink some water. Now, got it?
Yeah, but I gotta...
You gotta stay safe and healthy to stay on the job, right?
That's true.
A message from the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
When you're thinking about a place to go out to eat with your family or the whole gang, or maybe something quieter for just the two of you, head over to ON Radio's website, wonsocketradio.com, and click on the restaurant guide. This gives you a listing of the best restaurants in the area. You can take a look at menus and possibly even make reservations. This is a great resource to see a bunch of restaurants all in one place. Remember, it's Woonsockеtradio.com and click on Restaurant Guide. And if you own a restaurant that's not already listed, call WOON Radio at 401-762-1240 for information on how your restaurant can be on the Restaurant Guide. Call Joe at 401-762-1240.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
And it's Coffee In on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards. And up in Massachusetts, the defense keeps going in the Karen Reed case, in case you were wondering. And there was a confrontation in Canton because of this. Police had to be called in after characters of the Karen Reed murder trial clashed on a Canton street last night. Supporters of the Albert and McCabe families confronted blogger Aidan Carney outside C.W. McCarthy's. Carney was rolling video when a man and a woman slapped the phone out of his hand, and police told him both would be charged with assault and battery. Carney has used his platforms to accuse the Alberts and McCabe families of participating in the killing and cover-up of Reed's boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and to proclaim Reed's innocence. Taking the law into my own hands, and I have decided you're guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the way it's supposed to work in this here country. You know?
Nope. That's why she's on trial, right?
Right.
Okay.
It'll be several more weeks, probably. A couple more weeks, I think.
At least 2, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, be on the lookout this coming winter. I know you're not college basketball fans, but the University of Florida Gators have added the world's tallest teenager to their basketball roster. He's a man from Canada. His name is Oliver. Is it Roux? Riux? Is that how you say that? You
Yeah.
French people?
Roux.
Roux?
Yep.
I don't see it, so I can't say.
Riux.
Close enough.
Roux. Okay. He's an incoming freshman, and he's 7 feet 9 inches tall.
Holy cow.
He's been named by the Guinness World Records. He is the tallest living teenager.
Wow.
And this could make him the tallest college basketball player ever, an honor which is currently held by 7'8" Paul Sturgis, who played at Florida Tech. That doesn't say if he's any good.
Right, I know.
But when you're that
Well,
tall,
he's tall.
you don't need to dribble.
Mhm.
It's way too far down. Just you throw it up high, and just he can grab it up high, and hopefully he can put it in the net. So
And he's still growing?
it doesn't say. They just got him as the tallest living teenager.
7
He could
foot
7'9",
9".
and he could have that title for 2 more years, and then he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
And does he become the tallest living person, adult, at that time? We'll
maybe.
see. All right.
Get into Guinness?
So I'll have to remember to look next year, next basketball season, to see the tall.
To see if he-
see if
see
he
if
even
he's
plays. See if he's any
grown.
good. Yeah,
Well,
see
you
if
never
he's
know.
grown. A new study is linking the use of cannabis to an increased risk of more serious COVID outcomes.
Yeah.
Usually they've been touting how great cannabis
I
is.
know, but they've been working
It'll
so
do this,
awfully
that, and the
hard.
other thing.
They've
And
been
now
working
this.
so hard trying to find something on cannabis.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
Okay.
You know, they're just working so hard on it, and so they come up with a little something. Hey, let's see if that'll float.
Researchers at the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis say the risks are similar to what could be expected to be seen in tobacco users and include the possibility of ICU admissions. So it's just as bad as smoking cigarettes.
Well,
they're saying.
you're smoking something into your lungs, but
Yeah.
does it include...
You're bringing chemicals
Yeah,
inside your body
I don't
where
know if
you
it's got
don't
to do
have a
with-
defense against them.
Is it cannabis related though, or is it just smoke related?
It doesn't say, right? So what if you don't smoke it? What if you only do edibles? Is that still...
Their study was based on outcomes among more than 72,000 people in the Midwest during the first 2 years of the pandemic. So it doesn't say if they were smoking it or just ingesting it.
Well, if you put anything into your lungs, you're gonna
It's not good.
irritate your lungs and
That's
you
right.
get a disease that or a
And it's
you
a
know,
COVID.
it's a respiratory thing. Yeah.
COVID was a respiratory problem for most. Those who died usually died because of respiratory failure.
Yeah, the outcomes probably are the same if you get
Well, actually, from heart failure
pneumonia
based on
if
no
you
oxygen
smoke
in your
anything,
blood,
right?
yeah.
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 They did say that, you get, if you were a smoker,
Oh yeah.
COVID was worse for you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you smoke.
Yeah, because
No,
your
well,
diminished lung capacity.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you probably, some people will agree with this, some people will not.
I disagree.
Okay. Salty Brine State Beach in Galilee is among the best family beaches in New England.
No.
Wow. That was pretty quick there, Melissa. This is
Yeah.
according to a Boston Globe readers poll.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, well you can trust
You
them.
can trust them.
Boston
Well,
knows
don't ask
all
Rhode
about the
Islanders.
beaches in Rhode Island.
Well, they're asking all the people in Massachusetts, what's your favorite beach in Rhode Island, maybe?
That's the only name they remember.
Right.
Well, they got this right. It's described as small.
Yeah.
And it is tiny.
It is
Yeah.
small.
So it's a small,
And it-
toddler-friendly beach.
And it no
Okay.
longer has the live wires buried 6 inches under the
good.
sand.
So nothing blows up anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No more. They relocated those
my
wires
gosh.
so that you can't get
You can't
fried.
get burnt? Oh, good. So it's a small, toddler-friendly beach
If
with,
Salty were alive when that had happened, he'd have raised the roof.
with manageable waves. It's because they all have all those jetties
Okay, so
jutting out into the
for
There are no
children, I guess
waves.
it's
There
yeah.
are no waves.
That's right.
It's inside the breakwater,
Yeah.
right next to the entrance to the Harbor of Refuge for Galilee.
That's why they
And-
say it's the best family beach.
Okay.
They're
It's,
thinking
it's
really
a
small
baby.
kids.
It's a baby beach. It really is.
Yeah.
Scarborough is a baby beach. You never
That's-
see
yeah,
anybody
no.
with real surfboards there
Yeah.
because you don't get any surf because there's several miles of huge boulders
Yeah.
put out in a line to
So it doesn't
break,
happen.
yeah, to dissipate the wave action from the Atlantic Ocean. There's only 2 large areas where the boat traffic goes in.
They also claim that Salty Brine has soft sand.
It does
Okay.
because they
Almost
put it
every
there
beach. Okay, and one of their benefits,
after they dug up the live wires.
but one of the benefits is on-street parking, and I don't see that as a benefit. Their parking lot can fit 10 cars right next to
Right.
George's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on-street parking, I don't see that with maybe it's because it's free. The on-street
Well,
parking, but
I mean,
but it
that's
could
one
be a
of the
long
things,
walk.
That's one of the
It could
things
be,
that I
yeah.
like about now. What does Dave know about Salty Brine State Beach? I spent all my youth at East Matunic State Beach, which is right on the open water, looking across at Block Island, and but right next to East Matunic State Beach, at the very end of it, where the breakwater rocks go out into Rhode Island Sound, right there is where the fabulous Denise and I and friends of ours like to go. And here in our less youthful, let's go body surfing days in our lives, we bring along a folding chair and we sit and we watch the boats go back and forth. It's a stupid thing that old people do. You just relax.
And do you wave? You can wave to people on the boat.
We, whenever the Athena or any of the other Block Island ferries go by, there's always somebody out on
There's
deck, and
always
they
somebody
wave
waving.
and
Yeah,
we
there is.
wave.
Okay, there you
because
go.
that's
wave back.
That's the
Gotta be
thing to do.
friendly.
Yes, it is. So yes, we do. But most of the time, the fishing vessels don't wave.
Oh,
so
no,
we
no,
don't
no.
be
I mean the ferry.
waving at them.
All right.
No, we don't do that. So looking at Salty Brine State Beach from that perch, we see a lot. And we see exactly where it is and what it's doing. And you know what's so wonderful about it is that there's so many large beaches next to it. Everybody goes to the large beaches, leaving this one manageable. Also, if you go to the rocks at Jerusalem like we do, Jerusalem's the little village on the other
Near-
side.
yeah.
There's Galilee on the east side of the Harbor of Refuge entrance, and there's Jerusalem on the
Isn't that
west
Snug
side.
Snug Harbor? Isn't that?
No,
Or
Snug
that's a
Harbor,
little
Harbor is
little-
further up inside the Harbor of Refuge. Snug Harbor is further up on the westerly side. So anyway, we're on the west side. Salty Brine's on the east side. We look across, we see what's going on. So we kind of like keep tabs on what's going on at Salty Brine State Beach. And that's and on our side, there's free parking on street because you can't drive up to the thing
Yeah.
because it's a private way where houses are, and but they can't stop you from foot traffic.
That's
out
right.
there. And
That's right.
so we're always going. And what is it? It's not even a quarter of a mile from where we normally park. It's all good, Joe. And
Okay.
But is it the best in New England?
Best family.
Family
beach
in New England?
Yeah.
I
Wow.
know. I've heard that
I-
third beach is good for families too
Well,
because
see-
of the same reasons, right?
But now let's ask this question again, and think about it for a minute. Now, if you asked, I saw this on a game show Denise was watching. If you asked child psychologists whether it was healthy for them to see their parents argue, most of them would say no. Oh no, we have to protect the kids from this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
However, then the kids don't see that it happens, and they don't know how to deal with it when they get older, and they don't know how to have an argument and still stay friends, and they don't learn these things because they don't see their parents arguing. That same concept is what I bring to you here.
To the beach?
Had I, yes.
I know where you're going with this.
Had I not spent my youth in the waves of East Matunic State Beach,
Yep.
facing south on the open Atlantic Ocean, I would not have the same appreciation for the ocean that I have today.
I agree with you.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, you're going
When
to
you
think
have,
the
like,
ocean and
rough-
all this calm.
Now, Denise's
Yeah,
family, they went to Olivos and these, the Scarboroughs and places like that, where half of Rhode Island went.
Right.
We didn't because we wanted to be on the open water. My elders chose that place because it was on the open water, and you had more interesting things going. It was more the ocean than it was the bay.
Yeah.
And that's why my elders would say, oh, so-and-so's got a cottage down on the water in Warwick. That's not the ocean. Right? Or you take, like, Romeo Berthium is on the west side of Florida. That's not the ocean. That's the Gulf of
That's the
Mexico.
Gulf, yeah.
It is the world's biggest bathtub. But conversely, over in Daytona and Ormond Beach and Port Orange, they get some waves.
Yeah. All right.
Because that's the open Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
So what is better for kids? I think a good family beach is where they show you, hey, look, you see the fishy there? Isn't that cool? You know what that means when those little fishies are there?
That's those
Big
bigger
fishies
fish
are right
underneath.
over there. And how do you deal with jellyfish? And how do you deal with being a visitor in someone else's domain?
Yeah.
How do you do those are great life lessons for kids, and I wouldn't have wanted to miss those.
I had some
Did I
good
make any
life.
sense?
Yeah, no, I had some good life lessons on some very wild beaches. Matunic, which isn't
Matunic's
Matunic
just a little
anymore,
to the
right?
west
It's a
of
little,
East
right.
Matunic, yeah.
But you have a
Carpenter's
healthy
Beach and all that.
Yep.
Very popular.
You have a healthy appreciation, and the cardinal rule is you never turn your back on the ocean.
Oh,
Never.
Yeah.
And I've been with people
Crash,
who did
yeah.
not grow up in New England, and we're in the waves, and I thought, okay, turn around.
Turn around.
Right? And then I get out, and you have to know when you can go in, you judge the waves, when to come out. And then I get
Every
out,
seventh
I turn
wave
around.
is bigger than the rest.
Right? And then I turn
And you
around,
count.
and the person's still in, and they're looking at me, and I'm saying, no,
Turn
turn around.
around.
Tumble,
Yeah, yeah.
tumble, right? And
Sure.
yeah, the undertow.
That's how we used to do body surfing.
Yes,
You
right.
counted the waves, and you jumped into the seventh one, whether it looked good or not.
Yep.
Because the seventh one always had a little more energy.
Healthy respect for the ocean, and you don't mess around. You got to be
Sure.
on your guard. But
That's a great life lesson for anybody who's traveling, going to another culture,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
They did advise you, by the way, if you do want to go to Salty Brine State Beach, either go early
Yeah,
or go late.
Yeah, because in the middle of the day,
it
that's
fills
when
up so
everybody-
fast because it is so small.
Yeah.
And I remember, as high school, college, if we're going to go to the beach, Salty Brine Beach was never an option.
No.
It was you just knew it was too small.
Yeah.
So you went to the other places. So, all right, well, that's what they think there. Now, we got just a little more time to go, and
See, we made 10 minutes out of that
Yeah.
little story for you, Joe.
the world's ugliest dog has been named.
Oh.
An 8-year-old Pekingese from Oregon. The annual contest was held on Friday in Northern California. Top honors went to the black and white Pekingese named Wild Thang, Thang, whose tongue sticks out permanently because his teeth didn't grow in properly. His biography says I guess he wrote his biography. His biography says Wild Thang has causes that he champions and has helped to find safe homes for Pekingese dogs living in Ukraine. It says that he has already helped save 7 dogs from the war zone. Good for him.
Oh, my goodness.
Biography, not autobiography.
No.
See?
He
And
can't-
they
he
wouldn't
could-
let Joey Chestnut eat a hot dog.
I know.
You see? Oh, my goodness.
What's
he-
this world coming to?
Oh, I know. Well, he had to give he couldn't write, so he had to speak his biography to somebody else.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
wrote
Right.
it
They had
down
to
for
interpret
him.
it.
It's like the groundhog. The groundhog gets this interpreter over, and this interpreter writes it down for him.
Yeah. Well, you know what today is? I have to bring it up.
Let's see. It's 24th.
It's Declaration Day.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We talked about that a little earlier.
Yeah.
So, so what do you do now as the
what do I do?
senator? Do you have to go to City Hall?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And you'll
I'll
do
go
that
right
today?
after this and declare.
And how many signatures do you need to get?
I need to get 100.
100. Okay.
Right.
But that happens
For city
after.
council
so
is different.
Yeah. Right. It depends. So like a state rep would be 50 because their area is a little smaller. So you go and you declare. It's today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Right. And Wednesday by 4:30. Then you figure out
we
who.
show up with the Dunkin' Donuts and some coffee at 4 o'clock at the Board of Canvassers just to see who comes in at the last minute.
Yep.
Here are my signatures.
And then we get our signatures. We actually get our papers on the 2nd of July, and then you have 10 days to get those signatures.
Because the first step is that you go in and you declare, then they check to make sure that you're qualified in every way, and then they get the support.
Do you actually live in that district? Are you qualified? Are you registered to vote?
Are you alive?
Are you alive? Yes.
Well, that doesn't work out so well.
You have to physically go in there.
Yeah. So you must be. So
yes.
Are you who you say you are?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important.
Happy Declaration
You're
Yay. When I started all over again.
You put out your press release. Now,
I
Joe
did.
was asking me earlier, okay, when's the time you can't come on Coffee In anymore because of the equal time things? And you and I had this discussion because you asked me as well, just to be sure that you knew what the situation was.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the benefit of the audience, is that since everybody is making nice, we don't have any real big feuds going on, no big problems with personalities. Everyone is behaving like ladies and gentlemen at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be as lenient, because I make the final decision.
Right.
I'm going to be as lenient as I can, and we will go with the exact moment that you are certified by the Board of Canvassers, which will probably be, the 12th at 4 p.m. or something like that.
Something
or
like
6
that.
p.m.
Right.
Yeah. So,
when
so
you
anyway,
hand in your papers, they
check
all
all
the
the
signatures,
right?
and
And then if everything is Jake, then you're certified. At that point, we invoke the FCC's equal time, which I have dubious feelings on the fact. I think I mentioned it to both of you, but maybe the audience doesn't know. If you're a proud Rhode Islander, did you know that law from the FCC for equal time actually was caused by a Rhode Island radio station owner?
No. Wow.
Yes.
How about that?
A man down in Olneyville in Providence decided he was going to run for mayor because he was ticked off at the present mayor back in the 1930s. And he owned the radio station with the antennas on top of the theater, and he operated it, and he just used it to campaign. Got enough complaints, the FCC passed the law.
Wow, how about that?
Yep.
I didn't know it started in Rhode Island.
Time,
it started right here in Little Rhodey.
That's great. All right, we've run out of time, so the
I suppose.
the program has come to an end. We thank you very much for listening. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. Happy
right.
Monday.
All right, and Dave, thanks for coming in.
Don't worry, I'll wake up later.
Please do. Okay. Stay tuned. We have Leslie Page at the Libraries coming up, followed by Food First with Karen Zangari. Tiki Bar tonight at 6 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
Some members of the Massachusetts congressional delegation